welcome to our Jigsaw Bake-A-Long. We're really pleased that you could join us, and we're going to have some fun making some easy pizzas today and some fat American pancakes. So I imagine that on Sunday it was Valentine's Day, and maybe in your house you had some pink flowers or red flowers or hearts, or you saw them in the shops. Maybe mummy or daddy gave each other a card with a big heart on it. Maybe you gave mummy or daddy a heart card to say how much you love them. Well, today we're going to hear about a man who thought that nobody loved him. That's quite very sad, isn't it? You know that your mum and dad love you very, very much, but this man didn't have anybody who loved him, and his name was Zaccheus. So let's get baking. We're going to make a meal that you can share with your house, those people who live in your house today. So you're going to need a bowl and a spatula or a mixing spoon, and you're going to need all your ingredients. But first we need to turn the oven on. So if you get your mum or dad or whoever is helping you to go and turn the oven on to 200 degrees, that's gas mark 6. So if they turn that on, and that will warm up then while we're making our pizza. So while they're doing that, I'll introduce to you, here's our character from our story. He's called Zaccheus. He's quite small, isn't he? Well, Zaccheus found that nobody would come to his house to share his food because actually Zaccheus didn't like sharing. That's one of the reasons why he didn't have many friends and why people didn't like him, because he was unkind and he wouldn't share. And he also took more than was his share. So if somebody said, would you like a piece of pizza? And there were 3 pieces there, Zaccheus would take all 3 pieces. That's not good sharing, is it? Okay, let's make our pizza. So we're going to need we're going to need all our ingredients here. So the first thing is 136 grams of self-raising flour. So tip that into your bowl, 136 grams of self-raising flour. In it goes. Okay. And then we're going to need 40 millilitres of oil. Doesn't matter whether it's vegetable oil, sunflower oil, olive oil, or even melted margarine if you want to, but you need 40 millilitres. So can you pour that into your bowl on top of the flour? There we go. And then next we're going to pour in our milk. So we need 80 millilitres of milk. And that doesn't matter what kind of milk it is. So 80 millilitres. So double the amount of oil. So you're going to pour that into your bowl. See if you can pour that in. Now let's have a look at your mixture. Looks a bit messy, doesn't it? I don't know if yours looks like that. A mixture of the oil and the milk and the flour. And Zaccheus' life was like that, a little bit messy. So we're going to use our spatula or your spoon, and you're going to mix it all together. I'm sure that you'll find this very easy because you've got big strong muscles. You're going to mix it round until it starts to all coming together in a dough. Can you see that? Mine is all quickly coming together and making a dough. That was very easy, wasn't it? Make sure you got all the flour from round the edges of the bowl. Okay, so there we go. There's our dough mixture. Easy. Then we need something to put our pizzas onto, something that's going to go in the oven. So I've got a baking stone. You could have a baking sheet with some great greaseproof paper on it, or a tin, whatever you want to use. I'm using this stone. So I think we're going to make 4 mini pizzas. If you've got 5 people in your house, you might want to try and split it into 5. If there's 3 of you, you could split it into 3 or 4, and you could have 2. So I'm going to split mine. There are 4 people in my house. So let me tip it out so you can see. And I'm going to split it. Look, I split it in half. So that's 1, 2, and then I'm going to split each one in half. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and now I've got 4 pizza balls. And this is going to be our base for our pizza. So we're going to flatten it down. So you can roll it with a rolling pin. You can just use your hands. I cleaned my hands beforehand. So you can use your hands. You can make it into a circle or a rectangle, or if you're very clever, you could make it into a heart. So I'm going to flatten mine down a bit with my hands, which are clean. And then I've got a rolling pin and I'm going to roll mine a bit. You might need a bit of extra flour at this point to make it not stick to the rolling pin. Okay? And you want it to be fairly thin so that it cooks quickly in the oven. Okay? So I haven't managed to make mine into a heart shape yet, but maybe you've been clever enough to make yours into a heart shape. Mine are looking like funny shaped circles. Okay, the thinner you do it, the quicker the base will cook in the oven with all the cheese on top. So there we go. Mine's looking like it's almost there. I didn't do my balls very evenly, so one bit of pizza is bigger than the other piece, but never mind. I know in my family who will be having the bigger bit. So there we go. My 4 pizza bases. There you go, you can see that. That looks good, doesn't it? Okay. So next we're going to put our pizza sauce on the top. So you can use tomato puree mixed with a bit of water and some herbs. That's what I've done. I made a tomato puree and water mixture, or you might have some passata or some sauce, some tomato sauce, or even tomato ketchup or barbecue sauce, whatever you want to put on your pizza. And then you're going to spoon a bit onto each one and spread it out. So you can spread it out with your spoon, or if you've got a special spreader, you can use that as well. Don't think you want to use your fingers for this bit. It would be a bit too messy, wouldn't it? Very, very messy. Okay, so how are yours looking? Mine are beginning to look like pizzas now. There we go. Lots of sauce on them. Almost all covered. I think this one, the bigger one, needs a bit more sauce. If you like lots of sauce, you can make it quite thick. If you don't, you can make it really thin. Okay. There we go. They're looking good. Hopefully yours are looking good as well. Right. Okay. So next, what happens next? What do we need next on a pizza? Cheese. I think we need some cheese. So you can use whatever kind of cheese you want. I would suggest it was grated. It could be mozzarella, it could be cheddar. If you've got another favourite cheese and you want to sprinkle some over the top, however much you think you need. Remember, it melts, doesn't it, in the oven and goes all over the pizza. So you don't need it all to be covered up, but maybe you're someone who likes lots and lots of cheese over their pizza. Or maybe you're somebody who just likes a little bit. Perhaps you can think about, while you're making your pizzas, who in your family is going to get each pizza. Because some people might like more cheese than others, mightn't they? So you might want to be thinking about that. Because you're making these to share, aren't you? To share with the people in your family. So there we go. Mine's almost got enough cheese on it, I think. Looking good. There we go. Now the fun bit. All right, we're going to put on our toppings. Now I wonder, what have you chosen to put on the top of your pizza? Maybe you've got some ham or salami, or pepperoni or chicken, or maybe you've got some mushrooms, olives, I love olives, or peppers. What else? Sweet corn you can put on your pizza, whatever you want. You can find whatever you found in your fridge, and then you can put on your pizza. So I'm going to decorate the top of my pizza. You could even think about how you decorated it. Maybe you're going to make yours look like a heart on top. I might try that. I might try and put a heart shape on the top of one of my pizzas. Don't know if I'm going to be able to manage it. I think you've got to be pretty clever to do a heart shape. I bet you're better at this than me. And I think I might do a sad face for Zaccheus, who was very sad at the beginning of our story. And I might do a face for Zaccheus at the end of our story, and perhaps you can guess what might happen. So I put some pepper on mine, and then I'm going to put some ham on mine as well. So there we go. It's looking good. Bit of ham on my pizza. See if I can make some eyes to make a face, and maybe a nose. Don't know. See if I can make an eye here. A smiley eye. How do you do a smiley eye? Maybe I think you might be better at this than me, at making faces. Okay, so while you decorate your pizzas, I'm going to tell you a bit more about Zaccheus. So nobody liked Zaccheus because he wouldn't share. I'm sure none of you are like that. You are all really good at sharing. So here's Zaccheus. There he is. Nobody liked him because he wouldn't share. And he had no friends. And he was actually a very, very small man. He was very short. Everyone else was so much taller than him. Look, there you go. You can see. See how small he is compared to Jesus. Now, one day, he heard that Jesus was coming to town to talk to everyone. And Zaccheus wanted to see Jesus. He wanted to hear what Jesus had to say. So off he went. When he got there, there's Jesus. And here are all the other people. They came to see Jesus as well, because they wanted to hear what Jesus had to say. Here they come. They're all taking up all the room, aren't they? Because Jesus was very popular. Oh, there's hardly any room, is there? Where's Zaccheus going to go? So Zaccheus came along, but he couldn't see. Can you see Zaccheus in my picture? No, you can't, because he's so tiny. He couldn't see Jesus. Then Zaccheus saw a tree. There was a palm tree right by Jesus. And Zaccheus thought, if I climb the tree, I'll be able to see Jesus, because I'll be so much higher up. So up he went, and he climbed on top of the tree, and he could see Jesus, and he could hear everything that Jesus was saying. So how are you getting on with your pizzas? Okay, let's move Zaccheus and our tree out the way. Let's see, perhaps you can see if you've finished. Do you want to see mine? Look, there's my heart. Looks a little bit like your heart, doesn't it? There's my sad Zaccheus face. You can't see the hand very well, can you, on the screen? Maybe if I put eyes, there we go. There's my sad Zaccheus face. This is my Zaccheus, what Zaccheus looked like at the end. There we go. So we're going to put them in the oven for 15 minutes. That should be long enough. So I'm going to go off now and put mine in the oven. So you can pause the video while you put yours in and then come back. So hopefully you've put your pizzas in the oven and they're cooking away, ready for our tea. So we're going to hear a little bit more of the story. So there was Zaccheus up in the tree, watching and listening to Jesus. And Jesus saw Zaccheus in the tree. And do you know what he said? He went up to Zaccheus and he said to Zaccheus, Zaccheus, come down from that tree because I want to come to your house for tea. I want to come and have tea with you. So down Zaccheus came. How do you think Zaccheus felt? He was really happy. Imagine if your best friend said they wanted to come to your house for tea. You'd be so happy, wouldn't you? Well, Zaccheus was so happy. But how do you think everyone else felt? They were very cross. They were very cross because Zaccheus wasn't a very nice person, was he? And yet Jesus chose Zaccheus to come to his house. So everybody else thought it was very unfair. It wasn't fair that Jesus was going to Zaccheus' house for tea. So off they went to have tea. Now, who likes pancakes? I love pancakes. Pancakes are one of my favourite things to eat. So I thought we would make some pancakes. What do you like on your pancakes? I love chocolate on my pancakes. And cream as well. Maybe, and some raspberries. I love raspberries on my pancakes. So we're going to make some pancakes that we can eat after our pizza for our tea. So in your bowl, you're going to need 135 grams of plain flour. 135 grams of plain flour. Okay, and then we're going to take some baking powder. So we need some baking powder. We need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So you can help Mummy or whoever it is who's helping you. They can help you put in the baking powder. So there we go. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. We need half a teaspoon of salt. So not very much, just a little bit. Half a teaspoon of salt, that goes in there. And then we need 2 tablespoons of caster sugar. So I'm going to pour those in. And we also need an egg. Okay, so we're going to crack the egg. So maybe you're really good at cracking eggs, or maybe you'd like someone to help you. So we're going to crack our egg in. Hopefully you don't get any shell in your pancake mixture. We wouldn't want that, would we? It'd be a bit crunchy. Okay, I'm going to give my hands a bit of a wipe. Then we have got 130 millilitres of milk. Doesn't matter what kind of milk you use. 130 millilitres. So pour that in. And we need 2 tablespoons of oil. Again, it doesn't matter what kind of oil you use or melted butter. It's really up to you. But you want 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to measure those in. 1, 2. Okay. And then we're going to mix it, whisk it all together. Now you might have an electric whisk or a mixer that you put it in, or you can just use your muscles like me and whisk it round. Try to get all the lumps out. But it makes quite a thick batter. It won't be thin. Try and make sure you've got all the flour around the edges so there's no lumps of flour left. I'm going to whisk it all round. Whisk, whisk, whisk. Oh, this is hurting my arm. Now, some people like to put fruit in their mixture. So they mix the fruit in, and then when they put it on the frying pan, it cooks with the mixture in it. Or you can put it on the frying pan and then drop the fruit in. So that's another way of doing it. We might like some sauce with it, maybe some maple syrup or some lemon with it. Okay, so what happens is that, as you can see, it's a very thick batter. So you're only going to need a tablespoon that we're going to pour onto the frying pan, and it will make a round circle. So you probably will be able to get about 10 pancakes out of this mixture. So your helper might want to go and put the frying pan on your hob and heat it up ready to put the mixture on, and then when you put one on, you wait for all the bubbles to come to the top of the pancake and flip it over. Okay, so while the frying pan is just heating up with a little bit of oil, we can see what happened to Zaccheus. Okay, so Jesus went to Zaccheus' house, didn't he? I don't think they had pancakes. I wonder what they had for tea. But they talked to each other, and Jesus showed Zaccheus how much that God loved him. And Zaccheus realised that he needed to say sorry for all the naughty things that he had done and give back all the things he had taken, because he had taken things that he shouldn't have taken from other people. And he went, Zaccheus, and said sorry to all the people. They must have been really surprised, mustn't they? Because Zaccheus had never said sorry before. But he went to all the people and he said that he was sorry. And he showed them he was sorry by giving them back everything that he had taken. Wow. So Jesus loved Zaccheus before he had even said sorry. He loved him when he had done naughty things. And Jesus loves us even when we do things that we shouldn't do. Zaccheus said sorry because he realised he had done something wrong and he wanted to follow Jesus and be friends with Jesus. And Jesus wants us to know that he loves us. And it's important to say sorry when we do things that aren't right. So we're going to go and see how our pizzas are doing. I'm going to go and check on mine, and we're going to fry our pancakes up, and then I'm going to bring them back and show you. So you might want to pause the video and go and cook your pancakes and also check on your pizzas. Okay, so hopefully your pizzas are ready and looking lovely, and your pancakes are ready as well. Here are my pancakes. As you can see, they're not very big. I didn't put any fruit in mine, but maybe next time I'll try doing that. And here are my pizzas. Perhaps you can see Zaccheus' sad face there and his happy face at the end when he realised that Jesus loved him, and after he had said sorry. And there's my heart. So they look delicious, don't they? So my family and I, we're going to share our pizzas and our pancakes, and hopefully you're going to share your pizzas and your pancakes with whoever's living in your house, and you'll enjoy eating those together. So it's been lovely baking with you, and hopefully we'll see you again. Bye.